My name is Geraldine Alshamy. I am the Executive Director of Mary Magdalene Ministries. Mary Magdalene Ministries is a grassroots education, advocacy, and social justice organization that's been around for now about 25 years. I'm also the lead organizer of the PASSS Restorative Discipline Project. The PASSS Restorative Discipline Project got started about 10 months ago as we began to educate the community on restorative practices because so many of our poor black and brown children were being suspended from school, being kind of pushed into the school to prison pipeline through school-based arrest. And so this has been going on for so long. In 2010, we brought, when I say we, advocates of the community along with parents, brought a civil rights action against the district because poor black and brown children, and particularly children with disabilities, were disproportionately suspended and ushered into the school to prison pipeline. So it is for this reason that we began to take a different look at what advocacy really looked like. There's a desperate need for community to come up with solutions that are rooted and grounded in the community. So that's why I know that our school district was already doing some things with restorative circles. And so 10 years ago, I started to ask, how can the community be trained in doing restorative discipline practices. The Wake County school system heard us and decided to partner with us in finding those community-based solutions. So we have convened a collaborative of about 30 partners in the community. About 60 to 70% of those partners are African American, and some are other agency heads, but all are community leaders that are rooted and grounded. Some live in the Southeast Raleigh community and some work in the Southeast Raleigh community, but all have a vested interest in what's happening to children and families who are in the Southeast Raleigh community.
My name is Mindy Fuller, and I'm a co-producer of the Choice Not Chance documentary. I'm a part of the PASSS Collaborative. In Wake County, poor black and brown children are disproportionately suspended, and school-based arrest makes them victims of the school-to-prison pipeline.
I think restorative practices are important because it's important that we focus on restoration in our community and in education, and as a collective we can really come together to create some solutions to some of these problems that are affecting our young black boys.
This grant fulfills the mission and the values of our organization by helping us to carry out our plans. And what we plan to do is to, over the next 2 years, we want to train more than 200 community stakeholders in circle keeping. That includes parents, because we want to be able to use circles to address conflict in families, behavior issues in schools, because it doesn't do any good, one, to help children in school and then they come back into a family that's dysfunctional, and then the same problem is created over and over again. So we think that if we can use circles to really address family issues and that adverse trauma that so many families have faced and get people to talking about it, then people, it's not like we make people change in their minds, but people will change their minds innately. It's an internal process. Because change is an internal process. It's not an outward process.
This collaborative is important to me because I believe that many resources need to come together in order to help the community as a whole. What I love about the fact that different resources are coming together is, first of all, with us all being involved in a circle, we get to know each other on a more deeper and personal level. And as individual organizations, having access to other organizations, we can help the larger community as a whole.
That we're doing doesn't have any funding at all. This initiative has no funding. So basically, we're all coming together to try to find a solution. We're all driven by the mission and the value of this collaborative.
So this collaborative involves people who are doing this straight from the heart. There isn't any funding, we aren't getting paid. We're doing this because we love our community and we want to do more.
It's not funded, again, through personal contributions and in-kind donations from myself and gifts from community partners. This grant would certainly help us to be able to sustain this work for 2 years, particularly by through paying for space, so that we can continue to have a space in the community, because it's not easy to find a place in the community to convene.
On second and fourth Saturdays, we open our church up to community stakeholders. And on the fourth Saturday, John Powell from Campbell University, he comes and do circle training here at Greater Love. So I am excited about this work, and I see the impact that it's having in our community, and I hope that you would consider funding this work.
Say that there's a desperate need for community to come up with solutions that are rooted and grounded in the community. So that's why I know that our school district was already doing some things with restorative circles. And so 10 years ago, I started to ask, how can the community be trained in doing restorative discipline practices?
Providing services to our children and families. We want solutions that are rooted and grounded in our community, in our language and culture.